after London. If you find time, we can run one. Talk about some things we can undo. You just in the pen, I can find you. 6'1" on the money, 9'2". You just say the word and I run to.
All right. Welcome to the brand new episode of the Recreational Hoopers Guide to Basketball. Yup. I'm your host, righthandjesusmoves.com. Some people know me as Fredo. Some people know me as just, I don't know, better than them. But let's get into it. My co-hosts, introduce yourselves.
I'm Cash Money, proud supporter of the Instagram page, #Lou Dort is James Harden's dad.
Amen.
I'm Sev, proud supporter of Trading Plays. Get your merch.
Get your merch.
You know
Get your
the
merch. Get your merch.
AKA Sev, AKA Young Fadeaway, Young Post Up, Serena Williams Racket.
All right. So before we
#Strive for Greatness, niggas.
All right, whatever Serena Williams bedroom fantasies you have, don't bring them out here, bro.
I will bring them anywhere I do.
All right, you know what?
Strive for greatness, sleep with greatness.
Ooh, yo, put that on the t-shirt, cuz. Put that on the t. That was good. All right, enough fooling around. Enough fooling around. You know why we're here? We're here to talk hoops. All right. So let's just get this out the way. The first round is done. Mm-hmm. There were, I don't want to say surprises, but some surprises, and there were also major disappointments. You know what I mean? And we're going to get into all of that. We're going to start off in the East, okay? Starting off with the first matchup, 1 versus 8, Bucks at Magic. Anybody got anything to say? Much to say? I don't have much to say about that.
Shout out to the Magic for stealing game 1.
With everybody, only 8 players, 9 players,
something like that.
Yeah, that's a valiant effort. Go back to, back home, drive 15 minutes away, from the bubble.
This is true.
Yeah, it's
it's nice little vacation.
That's what I'm saying. Get away from your families for a little bit, then you have to go back and take care of your kids. Nothing crazy. Mm-hmm. So that series went crazy. Giannis did Giannis things. Middleton did Middleton things, and the Bucks played Bucks defense, and that's why that series was over in 5. Not much to say. Let's keep it on pushing. Okay, Raptors versus Nets, the 2-7 matchup. Anybody got much to say?
I just can't wait to see KD, Steve Nash, and Kyrie. I'm saying Steve Nash because he's basically playing.
Yeah.
I just want to see the level of offense that they kick out next year, and they did some pretty good things. They gave him a fight or two.
Yeah, man.
In 2 of those games,
yeah,
but then
man.
it ended up being a blowout. But
also, shout out to the Brooklyn Nets for keeping the people of New York entertained past April for the past 2 seasons.
True.
Yeah.
Because the major franchise in town.
Whoa.
We don't
the
talk
Nets
about that.
are the major.
Oh, you're right. My fault.
They
No,
major now.
the other people in town, the New York Knicks,
Just Knickerbockers.
The Knickerbockers. You know what?
Call them out.
The Knickerbockers. You know what? I'm gonna call them out just for 30 seconds, quick. Mm-hmm. These niggas are failures. Okay. Any team that can underperform to this level and be comfortable underperforming to this level as a major market. It's not one of these bum markets with no money, and it's not in a place where people don't want to go. It's New York City.
Yeah.
You can't attract a major marquee free agent. You can't get in the top 3 in the draft, and you keep tanking. Something's got to change. And I'm not talking about the coaches they seem to filter in and out every year. I'm talking about James Dolan needs to sell the team.
Yeah.
And
this is true.
The sky is blue. Next.
Exactly. So,
Seattle needs a team back.
yo, chill. But the next matchup, we're gonna get right into it. It was the 3-6 matchup. So Celtics versus Sixers, and I'm not surprised. That's what I expected, a sweep. Anybody got much to say about it?
Embiid looks like he's enjoying his offseason tweeting about Jimmy's greatness, so
yeah.
Shout out to him.
Mm-hmm.
It's really crazy when you miss your ex.
When you don't level up after you drop her.
Yeah,
after you let her go. And
ladies and gentlemen, Embiid is a perfect example. Is if you get left, if you're fat, hit the gym. If you're broke, get some money.
Bro, don't let
the ex look better than you, because right now Joel Embiid is looking at his ex, Jimmy Butler, and he's looking at the girl that he decided to sponsor instead of her.
Ben Simmons.
I was gonna say the whole organization, but you can go Ben Simmons if you want to. But I'm gonna say it like this: yeah, there's gonna be a coaching change. There needs to be personnel change to fit Embiid's needs better. If you're gonna go with Embiid into the future, that's my opinion.
We've been saying that for the past 3 years.
3 years.
Nobody wanted to listen.
Nobody
The media
listened.
always
Elton
pushed
Brand can
narrative.
only do what he can do with people, because at the same time there are people Elton Brand has to answer to. Like, I'm sure as a basketball player, he knows what he has to do. As a former basketball player, I mean, he knows what pieces would be good for a dominant big man. He's a former power forward. He should know.
Yet he committed like $100 million to 4 power forwards.
No funny.
Tobias,
I
Al
feel-
Horford, and Benson.
I feel like the Al Horford deal was more so to get the best defender in terms of big man defender in the East off of RT, because say what you will about Al Horford this year, the previous years when he was on Boston guarding Embiid, he did the best job.
That's like saying we don't play to win, we play not to lose.
That's exactly what I'm saying about the organization, which is why I said there needs
They need a shake up.
They need a shakeup. That's what I'm saying. They got Al Horford for the specific purpose of, you know what? If he's not there, then who's going to guard Embiid? Like, that's literally what they thought, probably.
Anyway.
But yeah, we're not going to spend too much time on what the Sixers need to do, because everybody and their mom know what they need to do. Okay? Let's get to the first big disappointment of the postseason. the 4-5 matchup. And, you know,
Gotta eat some crow here.
I picked the Pacers in 7, and boy was I wrong.
Bro, I didn't know Miami was carrying brooms like that, bro. That's crazy.
First off,
Bro.
That's crazy.
I'm sorry, Jimmy.
This ain't about Jimmy to me.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry, Tyler Hero. I'm sorry,
Duncan Robinson.
I'm sorry, Duncan Robinson. You're right. I'm sorry, Duncan Robinson.
Well, first of all, let me say, like, on our last pod, I definitely was like, I need to see it from Jimmy. But he did bring it that one game where I think he dropped like 37s. I don't know. I forgot. But other than that, it was just like
Their team was just better.
The team was just better. And apologies to Mr. Butler. Let me put some respect on you.
Yeah, not Jimmy.
But Pacers, TJ Warren, bubble MVP.
Get him out of here.
Deserved to be there, bro.
He's a bum.
I didn't see
All bubble
one
for
fight.
what, bro? All bubble for what? You come out here, you average like 34.8 points, and you have people thinking, you know what? Is this TJ Warren jumping into something more than an occasional bucket getter role player? Is this it?
Nah.
No, it wasn't.
Nah.
This was a case of there are no fans in the gym. There are no spectators. There's not crowd noise. I'm playing open gym. I'm going to shoot the lights out. And then when that real ass playoff defensive pressure came on him, because let me be very clear, Miami plays like a bunch of bullies. They threw Jay Crowder on that boy. They threw who else was guarding him a lot?
Who, TJ?
Yeah. Like it was Jay Crowder.
Jay Crowder.
It was mostly Jay Crowder on him, and there was they would
Some
switch
Iggy.
Some Iggy.
Yeah.
But Jimmy decided to guard him the last closeout game, and then Jimmy said, "Yeah, like you're not like me.
He not like that.
You're not like."
I'm interested to see what Victor Oladipo does in his offseason, because that's going to be a big thing. They're talking about trading him, which would be kind of stupid.
Stupid as hell.
I'm going to let them do what they got to do.
Come back to
Stupid.
OKC,
Like, I mean-
Victor will welcome you with open arms.
That's crazy.
And that's all I have to say about that.
That's insane.
I'm dead. So I forgot what I called, but I had the Pacers.
You had the Pacers in
Maybe 6,
yeah, you had them in 6,
maybe.
and Chris had them in 7.
And man, what a disappointment. I don't know if it was really the Sabonis factor that they just couldn't have anyone bang inside, or
I think at the end of the day, and this is sad but true, Miami was just more ready for the postseason. Like Miami was just more ready for the postseason.
they were.
They're literally built.
And
for
respect
the
goes out to them. They
postseason.
Respect.
deserved it.
Shout out to anything Pat Riley does. He does with the
Turns to
soul.
gold.
Yeah, like let's just give Pat Riley his flowers too, ladies and gentlemen. As in from player to coach to executive, anything he does is about winning. So I was wrong for doubting them, and that's why they're in the second round. And we'll get into their second round success. And
Shout out to Eric Spoelstra,
shout out Eric
too.
Spoelstra. Real talk.
Hall of Famer.
OD. But, we're not going to spend too much more time on them. We're going to keep it rolling onto the Western Conference, the 1-8 matchup, greatest 8th seed in history. Dame Dollar, CJ McCollum, Gary Trent Jr., Carmelo Anthony, Yusuf Nurkic. They're going to push the Lakers to gentleman sweep. Gentleman sweep.
Bro, like,
yo,
you know, like, I just want to get a few things. I just want to make sure everything is clear. You play a bunch of teams you're better than. You play a bunch of game 7s. You know, you play your heart out. That's cool. You're still an 8th seed. You don't have the talent to match up with us. You don't have the team to match up with us. You don't have the coach to match up with us. So what do you think you're really going to do?
Fact.
Oh, it's Dame time.
Talk that talk.
Bro, Damian Lillard is tough. But when you're going up against the big boys, you need big guns.
Yep, then let them know. Don't bring that little pee-wee shooter over here. You better bring the big body out the trunk.
Yo,
Facts.
You know what? I respect those guys, and all of them are hoopers, but Melo's not on our level. CJ McCollum tough. He not on our level. You said Nurkic is he a man, but he not a grown man compared to my men. You feel me? Like Dwight Howard shoving him around. And,
Is that a pause?
bro,
I mean,
honestly,
it is
bro,
Dwight
I've been
Howard.
saying such a this is gonna be the sussest episode ever. But yo, real fast though, we sent Dame home to his family. That's what we did for him.
And you know what? He not even mad.
He's not. Bro,
Like-
he saw where it was going. And he was like, "Yo, you know what?
They
I might
was-
as well dip."
They was like, I'm going to dip early and go see my little son.
Yeah, bro.
They was like, oh, yeah, I sprayed my knee and I jammed my finger. It's clipped. I'll see y'all in Cancun. I'm not going to be here.
I just want to know if the media is gonna apologize, which they won't.
They never will.
They never. Will.
LeBron getting an apology of the media? Crazy.
Yeah.
Insane.
Shout out to AD though. We gonna need you.
What I will say is this. I thought the Blazers were going to push it to 6. I thought the Lakers
Stupid.
were going to win. I thought they had enough talent to push it to 6. And
Nope.
they did not. So
Nope.
I
Should've
was
been a
I was
sweep.
I was wrong about that. Well,
Should've
it wasn't.
been a sweep, but
Well,
we
y'all
didn't make
have a
shots.
propensity to just give up game 1s for some reason.
Yeah. Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah.
It's like a
Is
disease.
that foreshadowing? I don't know.
I don't know.
Whatever.
But anyway, let's get on to the 2-7 matchup. Oh, I've been waiting for this one.
So we were listening to some Jay-Z earlier today. We were listening to Imaginary Players.
Imaginary players.
You know them when you see them.
Definitely do.
They come 6'9", about
I'll give
wear
you a
13
hint.
on the back,
He ices his shoulders all the time.
and
All
he
the
calls
time.
himself Playoff P.
Playoff P.
That's an imaginary player.
That's an imaginary. You don't exist, bro. You don't exist.
You know why? Because Luka couldn't see him.
Whew.
KP couldn't see him.
Seth Curry couldn't see him. Yo, Seth Curry couldn't see him.
Bro, on God, he was playing for his family.
Yo,
bro.
Seth Curry, first of all the buckets that Seth gave to PG, I want everybody and their mother to know that was personal. That was deeper than basketball, bro. Those buckets were personal, and I loved every single bucket. Like, if you really want to know what we're talking about, I'm not going to get into it on air. You feel me? I'm not going to do that.
Not gonna air that.
But
laundry.
you should look into it yourself so you can get a greater appreciation for how well Seth played against PG.
That's L's on L's on.
Yeah,
L's.
PG took the big L. And if you figure that part out, you'll understand why he took such a big L. But Chris, go ahead and speak on this. How you feel about the Clippers performance, bro?
Former OKC player over there.
Former OKC player, PG, that's your guy, right? That's your man's, right? That's your man's, right?
What you talking about, bro?
You remember Paul George used to play for OKC?
Nah,
that
I don't-
playoff P
bro,
stuff started
I don't
OKC.
remember that, bro. I remember Russ went to
Ain't this the
playoffs,
same
bro.
dude that dropped 5 points in
Nah.
Game 6 against the Jazz?
Bro, I don't remember.
Like,
bro.
that's
I
not
remember he
you?
went- bro, I remember
Like-
he went from Indiana to Clippers. You don't remember that?
Nah, bro, I don't remember that.
Nah, Indiana traded him to Clippers, bro.
Nah, I
That's
don't.
what remember.
Yo.
Alright, well, honestly, if you're not gonna speak up for him, I don't know what else.
Yeah, like if Chris don't got you back, PG, and you know what, PG, let me stop right here. I'm gonna do you this service. I want you to know I'm gonna make the environment so toxic that you won't even want to listen to this pod because I'm gonna call you what you are. You're a bum. Okay? Can I beat you in a 1-on-1? Hell no. Can you go to any YMCA in America and drop 60? Sure,
Yes.
of course. Can you perform in the playoffs? Hell no.
Bro,
You're a scrub.
the way he was playing, Rick Carlisle was about to.
Rick Carlisle was about to get buckets on him, bro. Actually, Rick Carlisle did because technically all the buckets dropped in the game were Rick Carlisle's buckets, bro. Those are his players.
First, you know what? I love this slander, but that brings us to a larger point. We gotta appreciate greatness.
Oh,
there are
yeah.
too many frauds.
Oh
out
yeah,
here.
there's too many frauds,
Too many
bro.
frauds like PG. We gotta focus on
Greatness,
Luka Doncic.
Luka
The
Magic.
man,
Ooh,
the man that he
The
is, bro.
myth.
yo,
legend, bro. The
son.
literal legend.
31, 9, and 8 in the postseason
With
on
his-
the vaunted best perimeter defense in the
Oh, here.
NBA.
With his
Oh my
trusted
God.
sidekick, KP the Unicorn. Bro.
KP the Udo, and I want you all to know, and I want you all to understand this. 2 of the Clippers' wins came when A, Kristaps wasn't on the court, or B, when Kristaps wasn't on the court, bro. Like, I want everyone
Bro,
to understand
let's
this.
just walk everyone through it. Game 1,
Thank
KP, the Mavs are up. KP gets ejected. The Mavs are up for most of the game.
Yeah.
They kind of have it like handled.
They
controlling it.
played between the two teams who played better. The Mavs played better in game 1.
And KP got ejected
Yep.
because he punched the air violently.
Exactly.
Ooh.
Like
Like I
Bro,
didn't
would
know
you
the air
rather
had
have-
feelings, bro.
Would
Like,
you rather have him punch you? That's a 7-foot man right
That's what
there.
I'm
That's
saying.
gonna hurt.
no, honestly, if I'm a player and I'm gonna get a technical for punching the air, I'm gonna just punch a ref.
yeah, you might as well.
Because it's
Bro,
like,
might
as well.
like, bro, what are you doing?
You can
So
find
he
me.
gets injured. He gets ejected. Game 2. Game 2, they come out. You know. Wait, hold on. Did they win that game 2?
I think game 2 they got blown out.
Oh
if I
no, that
remember
was
correctly.
the
That was
Kawhi
that
game.
was the Kawhi game, and that was
Kawhi
that
game.
was the
He let us know
Kawhi
that.
game.
He was there.
That was a good game for not the Clippers. That was a great game for Kawhi, right? Mm-hmm. And also, didn't Luka twist his ankle in that game?
I believe.
Or was
I
it the
think
next game?
It was game 3, I think.
Game 3, he
Game
twisted his
3.
ankle.
So that game 2 was legitimate, I think. So
Okay,
KP
cool.
played that whole game, and then game 3. Oh no, KP, where is he? Oh, he has a sore knee. We find out later it's a meniscus.
Oh,
But he has a sore knee, right? So what happens?
We all think they're gonna fold, right?
Greatness shows up in the nick of
game
time, bro.
4.
Bro, Luka Doncic, that was one of the best
Greatest?
I've
ever
Yo.
in the playoff history.
What was his final stat line? Because he ended up with like, what, 42? 43?
17 and 13? I could be wrong.
No. The 17 it's either 17 or 15 rebounds. Or was it 17 or 15 assists? Whatever it was, ladies and gentlemen,
It was crazy.
it was crazy.
And let's just say this, Kawhi, we know that you didn't want the smoke. We
We
know
know.
that you
We
saw
know.
him and it was like, oh my god.
Yeah,
that's a
I've
greater
never
player.
seen a vaunted defensive player switch off to the because at this point, as the best defensive player on the team, I know where the ball is going. Everybody knew where the ball was going. Ladies and gentlemen, everybody in the gym knew Luka was going to take that shot, and they were going to live with it because it's just like our greatness versus your greatness. And in that moment, what you're supposed to do on the other side is put your best player out there. Even if your best player isn't your best defender, if you have your best player out there, your biggest dog, you're just like, he's going to find a way to get this stop. Kawhi's their best player and their best defender. And you know what happened when the switch happened and Luka got the ball off the switch? Kawhi said, here, Reggie, I'll offer you up as a sacrifice on the
Reggie.
throne that is the greatness of Luka Doncic. And you know what happened to Reggie? The sacrificial lamb? What happens to sacrificial lambs? They bleed out and they burn on the altar, bro. And that's what happened. Luka Doncic said, oh, hard dribble, side step, step back. Come here.
You could see the confidence in the steps in his shot, bro. You knew it was going down.
Just to be clear, he walked on the Black Lives Matter portion of the court and screamed, this is my shit.
Careful before we get demonetized.
Yo.
So funny story, we missed that. So game 2, the Mavs won after Doncic had 28
Right.
8 and 7. Game
Okay.
3,
They tied it up.
game 3 was the Kawhi game,
Okay.
and then game 4 was when Doncic was like, "I'm the man."
Yeah, I knew he twisted his ankle in game 3.
Yeah, game 3.
Yeah.
My bad.
So the 2 wins that they had was in game 1 when KP was ejected. Game 3 when
Kawhi went crazy. And
Kawhi
then
went crazy and Luka twisted his ankle that game. Then he came back and was like, "Oh, bum
on a
ankle.
bum ankle.
It's clip for y'all."
It's clip, bro. But everybody after that game that Luka saved them and brought them to 2-2, nobody at that point knew that Kristaps tore his meniscus. So everybody was just like, oh, Porzingis
come
going to come back? I'm picking the Mavs. Then you find out Porzingis going to miss game 5. I'm thinking to myself, oh, man, That's the one game Paul George decided to be good in.
Yeah.
So in that case,
Decided to show up.
yeah, he decided to show up. So he does that. The Clippers blow him out, and I think it was like by 40.
Yeah,
Like it was
by a lot.
obscene. It was like I remember I didn't watch the whole game because I was like,
They dropped 157,
154.
They dropped 154 points in the postseason.
111.
Yeah, they violated.
Yeah, and at
And then-
that point we knew.
Yeah, we knew it was over, but we were like, Game 6 going to be a good one. And then you find out Porzingis out for the rest of the postseason, torn meniscus, and I was like, oh man,
It's his other knee.
like the Clippers weren't even really battle tested, and the best player on the floor was not on the Clippers. I want that to be very clear. Like, and this is not to undersell what Kawhi did, okay?
He was great. He went Kawhi playoff mode. You know, he went postseason mode.
I mean, nah, his averages were crazy. It was like what he averaged like
Probably like 33.
he averaged 33,
He
10
had
and 5.
He had a Kawhi series.
Yeah,
And then he
had-
averaged his steals and his blocks. He went crazy. He did what he had to do. But what's it called? Yeah. Anything else anybody wants to say about that series?
So yeah, Chris, go ahead.
I was just thinking, I was gonna sprinkle a little more Paul George is a bum type stuff in there.
Oh, go ahead. We're always here for that.
In the last game, Game 6, people were praising the Clippers for winning and all this, that, and the third, but everyone was ignoring the fact that PG was a bum in that game too. Like, if this is the way you're gonna play the rest of the playoffs, like, I don't know, you really just don't deserve to be called an all-star to me. That's just how I feel.
And to be honest, like before this whole series started, I had Clippers in 6, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is not the 6-game series I expected.
Yeah.
And when they played, you could see it. The Mavs were the better team, or at least they played like the better team, and we were robbed of a Game 7 at least, and possibly an upset. But that's not what America wanted. That's not what the Lakers wanted.
It's not what the NBA wanted.
That's not what the NBA wanted.
Just Adam Silver just looking
Well,
at it like,
you know, I understand all that. I get it. You know, Paul George slander is always fun because it's true. But moving on from it, because I'm not going to spend the entirety of this great podcast talking about somebody who's subpar.
Imaginary players, bro.
Imaginary players. Get that on a t-shirt. Anywho, next we're going to really attack the 3-6 matchup. And that was the Denver Nuggets versus the Utah Jazz. So first and foremost, big shout out to Donovan Mitchell. Big shout out to Jamal Murray. Both those teams suck.
Bro, I think I had Denver probably in like 5.
I had Denver in 4, bro.
I had Denver in 5.
What the hell happened?
Bro.
No.
Look,
Porter
don't
Jr. came out
look.
here in Game 1 looking like he was about to tear them up, bro.
I saw Michael Porter Jr. come out on fire, bro. I was like, oh my gosh, it's like the second coming of. Nope. He sucks. He's a fraud. You can't keep him on the floor.
Bro.
He leaks buckets. He can't guard one-on-one. He can't. They put him on Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell had 57 points in Game 1.
And you know what? It's crazy. Like, Donovan Mitchell came out here looking like 88 Jordan.
And that's not an exaggeration. He literally was out here looking like 88 Jordan.
And they still lost. And then that's when I was like, it sealed the fate. I was like, the door has closed on Utah Jazz and Rudy Gobert, finally. Because Rudy Gobert does not belong on any playoff team. Because he's not. How can you be an
He's
all-star?
not built.
Name,
At
quick,
all.
audience. Name one of his moves.
Yo, hang on. You know, I'm about to bring big shout out to our tech guy, but I know y'all might not be able to hear him. You ever heard of Rudy Gobert? He said no. You know what that means? He's a scrub. Rudy Gobert is a fucking bum.
Bro, honestly, and what's crazy is like he did give Jokic some problems, but we all know the Nuggets were just the better team.
The Nuggets were the
We were
better
just
team, bro.
waiting on it,
On
and
paper
they just
and in real
didn't
life.
play that well.
And let me be very clear. The Nuggets are garbage because it took 7 games to win. And the Jazz are super garbage because they lost the 3-1 lead. Bro, at that point, there was Mike Conley comes back, you're up 3-1.
He hits like
Donovan Mitchell just dropped 51 to put you up 3-1. Like, what happened? Bro?
They blew it, bro.
Yeah, like, you blew it. You messed up.
You gotta go back home to Utah, bro.
Like, I don't understand. And then also shout out Donovan Mitchell, 57 points, and then 30 points, and then 51 points, and then he comes out like
40.
Like no, I think he dropped like 20. No, he dropped. It was 57, then 20 something, and then it was
51 was game 4? Question mark.
Nah, it was 30 something in game 3.
57, 30.
Oh, and then 20.
Game 3, he came out with like 20.
Okay, so I got him mixed up. And then game 4, he dropped 51 again.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then game 5, what was it? He dropped 44. Was it that?
Game 5, he dropped 30.
Oh, he dropped 30, and then game 6, he dropped 44.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then game 7 was all about Will. He got a bunch of tough buckets. Like the one thing about this series that taught me that Donovan Mitchell is a dog, and he has that it factor.
They were down 17 at the half, or 17 at the half, right? They scored 30.
No. They were down 14 at the half. It was 36 to 50.
37 to 51.
37-51.
They
Yeah.
scored 37 points in the first half.
Yeah.
And then they come out, and I think they end the third quarter with like 65, 66.
Yeah.
And
something
all of
like
that was on the back of
Donovan
Mitchell hitting every tough shot, setting up every tough play, even making Rudy Gobert, bum-ass Rudy Gobert, look like a decent player. Bro. And you know what? Because Game 7s are tough. Game 7s, you see everyone's skill and everyone's the aura around them. It dwindles down to just sheer will and effort. And Rudy Gobert was out there getting rebounds. You know, like he was doing his thing. They were getting every loose ball. But Donovan Mitchell brought them back, made the game competitive. And then on all of that, they blew it.
You blew it.
Bro, they blew it at the end.
Yo, I could go into how the narrative is different if Conley hits a shot. I could talk about how it would be different if Donovan, wasn't so exhausted, so he just fell into the trap late in the game. I could go into the fact that the Nuggets wanted to lose because instead of holding the ball, they tried to do a fast break at the end of the game.
And who was that who messed it? Was it Royce O'Neal?
No.
We need to
it
get
was
this
not,
slander straight.
but Royce O'Neal and Torrey Craig are the same bum. So let's be very clear, bro. They're both 3-and-D guys. They're both 3-and-D guys
Two
who
sides
didn't
of
show
the
up.
same coin.
Bro, literally two. Bro, it's like the Spider-Man picture. It's like, huh? Like you point at yourself,
So
bro.
basically, Royce O'Neal would have missed that too. That's
Royce O'Neal would have missed that too, bro.
Bro,
I'm convinced.
On everything, you missed that layup and you go home with Conley hitting that shot. Bro, you are not safe in Utah. You are not safe
No,
in
in
Utah.
Denver, in Utah.
No, I'm saying if he goes home to Utah. I'm sorry. You're right.
Denver.
If he goes home to Denver, it's clipped for him. You need extra
Clip,
security, bodyguards.
You gonna miss a layup?
Pretty high up there, bro.
Bro, and they're over here. They're over here joking about it in the post game because they won. I promise you, it wouldn't have been jokes about missing a layup if they lost, bro. The teammates wouldn't have been speaking to this man, bro. They would be like, a layup, nigga.
It would have been worse than Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell with the whole COVID incident.
You know what's crazy? I promise
And
you,
that was life or death.
Donovan will never speak to him again. Donovan's like, wait a minute. So you gonna get the season postponed, and then you go wet the bed in games, bro. I would be sick.
Shout out to the Joker in Game 7. He looked like a pussy for most of it, but he did come out with some decent numbers. He was still
30, 14, and 4.
I still say that Rudy Gobert made him look like a little boy out there.
30, 14,
every one-on-one
and
play,
4.
Every one-on-one play, it was like clipped for him.
30, 14.
All right, well,
And 4.
he better not do that bitch boy shit against Zubac.
Big Zoo? You mean Big Zoo who plays a robust 15 minutes a game?
Bro, chill, bro. He's getting more minutes this series. But
And you
that's
mean
another
you
topic.
can't trust Sixth Man of the Year Montrezl? You know what? Let me not get into that. Let me not get into that right now. Anywho, right. I would be remiss because also we talking about two sides of the same coin. Jamal Murray. Let me give him his flowers.
Yes, sir.
What he did to bring them back from 3-1 is nothing short of spectacular.
And it started Game 4.
And it started Game 4. That man, he came out here and he was just like, I want to win. Like, I want to win. And he drops 50. Donovan drops 51, and they lose that game. But you know what he does? The next day he comes out 42, They get the dub. Now it's 3-2. The next comes out, wills it. They need this dub. They need this dub. And Donovan Mitchell was going that game, people. If you didn't, he had 44. Donovan was on. And that game was actually competitive. And then Jamal Murray just said, I'm going to hit more difficult shots than you can hit.
Unguardable. In that series, unguardable.
And also,
that's not saying much considering they both didn't play.
No, that's a fact. That's a fact. But no, I hope Quinn Snyder doesn't think he's safe, because it's like, what the hell are you doing not doubling him?
Nah. All this, first of all, who got fired recently? Nate McMillan got fired this series after not having Oladipo before when they went to the playoffs. And then after that, what was it, injury to
Sabonis?
Sabonis. So, and then after these 2 years of being great during the regular season and coming up short with a team that is okay talent-wise, but they always play 110% with effort, you're going to fire that man? Meanwhile, we're not even hearing a whisper about Quinn Snyder.
That's what I'm saying.
So, Utah, we know you're like that. We're not going to say anything about it, but if you
will. You're racist.
Bro, if you want to win, get a better coach.
Get a better coach, bro.
We shouldn't have to tell you
that. Let me explain something to you, bro. As a coach, if I see someone have a 25-plus point half, the second half they're getting doubled.
Do you think Jerry Sloan would allow that to happen?
What? Like, come on, bro.
Hold your organization to the standard that your history has preceded.
Thank you. I couldn't have said it better myself.
Like, if you're gonna come off of a historically great all-time rest in peace,
Yeah. Rest in peace. Rest in peace, Jerry.
Rest in peace. You cannot replace him with someone who's just gonna be okay.
And
don't get me wrong. Yo, you beat the Thunder. Oh, that's great. They're a terrible team, bro. Terrible team.
Because
they also had a bum coach in scrubs next to Russell Westbrook and PG, who was also AKA scrub mode.
Scrub mode in the playoffs. AKA Paul George is wild trash in the playoffs. Wild trash.
Oh, did we
Pandemic P? Pandemic P, bro.
Notice how everything relates back to
everything relates back to bums, bro.
But that's the point.
Bum coaches, bum players, bum culture. And you know what's crazy? I don't care how far the Clippers get this year. It'll just be so annoying to watch George Paul, get as much success as he's going to get riding Kawhi's coattails, riding Lou Williams' coattails, riding Marcus Morris Sr.'s coattails. Because Marcus Morris Sr. has been a more consistent offensive player in the postseason for the Clippers than Paul George has been.
But that's the point. That doesn't absolve you from losing. Beating Paul George doesn't absolve you from losing the way you did.
At all.
Up 3-1, playing zero defense.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if Quinn Snyder isn't fired after giving up a 3-1 lead, like, if you can't find a way to win one of those games, like, you're not playing LeBron and Kyrie, bro. You're playing Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic, bro.
I bet you anything Nate McMillan wouldn't have lost, was it 3 straight games?
Of course not. And you could say what you want about Nate McMillan. Oh, they got swept. If Nate McMillan was in position to be up 3-1 on the Heat, he's not losing 3 games in a row. His team is not losing 3 games in a row.
Because he gets the most out of his players.
Thank you.
And that's all I have to really say about
And say what you will about the Pacers series and the Heat series. Those games were close most of the time until the fourth.
They just didn't have that
They just didn't have a star. That's really what it is. TJ Warren is a bum.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, let's go on to the next series, man. It was
4-5.
Chris, I'm gonna let you get this one.
The Thunder should have won.
Yeah.
Thunder deserved to win.
Go ahead, bro.
All right, let's recap the series. Go ahead.
Nah, James Harden, bum. Especially Game 7. I have it right here. You played 37 minutes. And got 17 points. Are you kidding me?
Yep.
Bro, you let Eric Gordon and Burt Covington outscore you.
Like he said, first of all, he's not even gonna call him by his full name. That's Burt Covington,
bro.
Burt Covington.
Come on.
You don't even deserve the RO.
It's disgusting, man. It's disgusting.
Jeez, man. Like, and Russ was rusty. Like, oh my gosh.
So let's go back.
All right.
The Thunder win the first 2 games.
Wrong. The Rockets win the first 2 games.
The Rockets win the first 2 games without Russell Westbrook.
Yeah.
And at that point, I was just like, oh, my prediction of them going 5, if Russ comes back in game 2, it might be a sweep at that point. In my head, I was just like, bro, like, Like honestly, bro, they're just better,
You
and
don't
they
know
feel
how
like
it
they
was
could,
built, bro.
you know. So
We were better
I
than
had them in
bro.
5. If I think I said I had.
You said you had them in 5 regardless.
No, I said I had them in 5 if Russ came back games 2. If he didn't come back, it would be 6 games.
Okay.
Either way, I wasn't really giving them a chance.
Yeah. Chris. Well, hang on. I'll get into my prediction about what I said.
Yep.
I picked the Thunder to win in 6, and people were looking at me crazy. I assumed the Thunder would win the first 2 games without Russ. Right? The Rockets blitzed them, and then the Thunder adjusted. Shout out to Billy Donovan in that sense for making his team make the adjustments because Billy Donovan slander is coming. Also,
Lou
Also,
Dort,
yeah.
Lou Dort, the best one-on-one defender to guard James Harden in the entire league, and he did a great job, bro. And you know, and what game was it? Game 6? I forgot what. He just did a terrible job shooting. They left him open the entire time. I think it was game 5. Bro, game 7 came out here MVP mode. Scored 30 points. I think he scored like 18 points in the first half. He was just going up, bro.
Yep.
Like that's why at that point I was just like, oh yeah, bro, we were winning this series, bro. Like,
look,
and then people praising James Harden because he got that block on Dort, bro. Are you serious? You're just gonna ignore the fact that he was just some ass the entire game, bro?
Facts,
Bro,
We had more heart than them.
obviously.
y'all definitely had more heart.
But the reason I picked the Thunder in 6 is because the Thunder have the type of team. They have a team with an Eastern Conference makeup in the Western Conference. What I mean by that is there's not necessarily an overload of star power, but they're gonna play the right way and they're gonna make you play ugly.
Exactly.
Like they're gonna defend, so you're gonna be in a mud throwing match.
And they play very hard.
And they play very hard. And also, the Thunder had the best player in the clutch in the series. Let's be honest.
Chris Paul.
Chris Paul's the best clutch player in that series.
Yes, sir.
So that's why I said
He is.
But if it, like I said, if the games
and all season.
and all season, he's been the best clutch player all season. So it was like, to me, it was pretty simple. If the Thunder play how I know they should play, most of the game should be close. And if that was the case, I'm picking them more times than not, which is why I picked them in 6. Because as much as you have Russ and Harden, I'm just like, y'all are talking about star power, but in terms of style of play, like, and the way they defend, the Thunder can get this done. Like, I really believe that.
Bro, and every time we got blown out, we never got demoralized.
Yeah.
Never thought we couldn't win.
I think y'all only got blown out twice.
We did only get blown out twice, bro.
Yeah, it was literally like, it was game 5 and game 2
Game
or
one
1?
and
It was
game-
game
one.
Game 1 and game.
I think it was 3.
Oh, it was 3
game
game?
5 was bad. Game 1 and 2.
Game 1 and 2? Okay, cool. But
It might have been closer than.
yeah, and you know, we can fast forward everything. Shout out to, first off, Chris Paul's game 6 performance was a maestro.
Excellent.
It was
Bro,
excellent.
it was
There was no mistakes. There were no
prestige,
mistakes.
bro.
It was prestige. Shout out prestige. Shout out the merch.
It was excellent, bro. And like that entire game, it was, to me at least, it was ugly. Like for both sides.
Perfect.
It was
Perfect
literally
condition.
just
The perfect condition for the Thunder to pull out a win.
Bro. So I was happy. I mean, of course, I saw all the misses. I was just like, it was irking me,
But that's playoffs. To me, that's playoffs, man. You love that. And that's how you know who the real hoopers are. I'll always say that, man. And people always look at this new day and age of offense and basketball like, you're excited to see 120 to 115. I don't want to see that in the playoffs, bro. I want to see a low-scoring game. I want to see, like, the final score showing 95 to 90 because I know at least, like, 30 of those points got to come from somebody who's really a bucket, who could
I would
really
know
hoop.
Exactly. And that's what kind of pissed me off about the Jazz and Utah and Denver series.
Yeah.
They just meant less. You know, those points kind of meant less because they were just giving them up so much.
Yeah.
That game 6 was it game 6? I'm sorry. Game 6 performance by Chris Paul. Low scoring game. Your stars have to shine the brightest. He did. It was a virtuoso.
It was a
Separated the men from the
virtuoso.
boys.
0 turnovers.
Also,
15 in the fourth quarter.
0 turnovers.
Also, his clutchness shined bright in Game 3 as well when it went to overtime.
Yes.
Yeah.
That game we needed it, bro, and we went on I think a 12-0 run.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Now look, for game 7, you know, everything happened, right? It happened how it happened.
We gonna talk about it though.
Look, let me tell you something.
Heavy hitters.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Game 7 is never about.
It's never easy.
It's never about your skill and finesse and just.
It's about who wants it.
It's about who wants it
See
more.
your will.
And I thought going into that game, I was convinced. Like I was wrong. They pushed it to game 7. Chris Paul is the man. They have the scrappy defense. They have the effort needed. They're going to come out there and make it even like super. It was already going to be ugly because it was Game 7, but they were going to make it their game. Mm-hmm. And you could see it. The nerves are on everybody's faces. Harden was trash. Russ was trash. Gallinari was trash. Shea was trash. Dennis Schroeder was okay.
Lou Dort, sidebar.
Shea was actually better than Dennis.
Yeah, Shea was better than Dennis, but Dennis's nerves weren't getting to him. Dennis got a lot of those Game 7 rolls, bro. Because some of the Dennis got free, and the only way you could tell Dennis's nerves were on him is when some of his misses from 3-point range were ugly misses. But when he cashed, he cashed.
And
but
he did all the things he normally did.
Exactly. He attacked it, and that's the crazy part. Like in Game 7, the shots you normally just easy. They just find a way to roll off, or they find a way to be super difficult. Like Dennis Schroeder had 2 or 3 moments at the cup where I'm just thinking to myself, "Oh, that's a bucket. Let's go, Dennis!" And then all of a sudden, it rolls off the rim, or it rolls out in and out, and I'm just like,
it broke my heart every time I seen it.
And that is the pressure of a Game 7, because then you start getting in on yourself. Like, am I weird? And kudos to Chris Paul for keeping. First of all, kudos to Chris Paul for making someone to go the distance with him. Yeah. Because, like I said, Shy and Dennis didn't have it. But he saw Lou Dort shy away from the first shot he took in like the first quarter. He went up to Lou Dort, had a whole conversation with him. After that, Lou Dort was the best player on the court for the rest of the night.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Chris Paul and because Lou Dort was so good, I was convinced they were going to win. I was like, you're going to give somebody hitting shots with Chris Paul in a Game 7? Hell yeah! I was like, this is game, baby. And then it comes down to, couple of last possessions. Chris Paul misses a couple of bunny jumpers, and now people are quick to jump on him like he's not clutch. Look,
he's been clutch.
He's been clutch all year, and also he scored like 10 or 12 points in the fourth. So the only reason because there was a stretch they were down by 6 for most of the fourth. His threes were the stuff that put him over the top, where they started going back and forth.
Yeah.
The way I saw that game, it was OKC's game to lose. Harden was terrible. Russ was forgettable. And Chris Paul did enough to keep the game manageable. But what I saw from Chris Paul, what I saw from Billy Donovan, because those are the only 2 people that we can hold accountable. The rest of the team, it's not on them. You can't expect Shea to go. Shea already had 2 very bad games leading up to that. You're not expecting a third-year player to go out there and,
second.
I'm sorry,
bro.
He's only second, bro. If this was his third year, I would have held him accountable.
Oh yeah.
And that's the thing. Gallinari was out there and he was terrible.
I hold him accountable too. You too much of a veteran.
I hold him accountable, but the reason why I don't is because Darius Baisley should have been in that game.
That's a fact. That's a coaching. That's a coaching decision.
That's on Billy Donovan.
And
that's the key.
That's the
they
other
made
thing.
A run with Darius Baisley out there getting every rebound, playing great defense.
That's the one thing that I'm annoyed by, because I've watched my team be the team that's too young to not know they're supposed to like lose. Like Darius Baisley and Lou Dort
didn't know.
They didn't know they were supposed to lose. So they were playing like they were supposed to win. And when you have play, because Darius Baisley and Lou Dort, like Darius wasn't getting the shots Lou Dort, but in terms of rebounding, playing defense, making you in Game 7,
when he needed to shoot too.
Exactly. And Game 7, it's like Game 7, you don't go with your normal rotation. You look your players in the eye and you see who wants it, and then you put those guys out there. So that Gallinari did not want it, bro. He did not want to be out there. He didn't. Darius Baisley wanted to be out there.
Yeah, and that's on Billy Donovan.
That's on Billy. That's coaching. But that's also Chris Paul too, because he's an extension of the coach. You should know, as a leader that you are, you should know who doesn't want the moment.
And listen, I love Chris Paul, and I want to see him win a ring, but I have more heat for him because I don't care. It's like this. You can be great all game long, just like you can be great all regular season long. When the chips are on the table, you have to
gotta perform,
or you fail. You win or you fail. And in that instance, Chris Paul failed.
And
it's the game, a turnover, a missed bunny, because that he had that short shot.
Yeah.
And then you see the nerves get to your leader in Chris Paul being guarded by Robert Covington, a guy you've been
cooking all series
long. You hesitate on your signature jumper.
That's what I'm
your
saying.
Signature jumper you hesitate on, and then you lose the ball after that. And then you let Gallinari shoot the
free throw. That's the one thing. That's the one thing I have for Chris Paul, bro. in that moment,
not.
I don't care who you like. You're the only person who should shoot that free throw. As the leader of the team, as the most clutch player in the league, you go to the free throw line. When I saw Gallinari get to the line, I was like, "What?"
I know he was gonna miss it.
I knew he was gonna miss it in my soul. I seen it. He didn't want it, bro.
was
And on top of that,
all game.
every single NBA player has a routine at the line. Gallinari did not go into his routine. He took a deep breath, looked, did one of these, got the ball, and then there was a hitch in his free throw. Like he stopped mid free throw. Like, is it really online? And then he proceeded. He wasn't with it. Everything about his body language said he intended to miss that shot. Not on purpose, but it was just like,
you know who you need in that instance? Mellow. But I mean, let's not get away from ourselves. That's a tall tale.
That's OD. Let's not get into that.
CP3 should have taken that shot. That turnover, it was, and then the missed button was like.
Hang on, for the final defensive possession, and it's not one but two.
Everyone was flopping.
I'm gonna let you. No, not even that. I'm not even talking about the flops because Chris Paul and James Harden.
The last two possessions.
I'm talking about the last two possessions of the game. I'm gonna let you get into that because that's your coach, so you need to do this, and that's your big man.
Even
so you need to do
when
this.
When James Harden got his block, that save the Rockets, bro. Before that, Shai was out of control, and when you see that as a coach, you're supposed to call timeout immediately.
That's Chris Paul too.
Like. Bro, don't even hesitate. What are you doing there, sitting there watching? You're just praying to God that something's going to come of that? No. And then you pass it to Lou Dort, a rookie who doesn't know when James Harden's flying past him, he could just take a sidestep and just shoot it. Like, and then when you call the timeout, you make it. Actually, no. It was a foul. So then they had time to draw up a play. And then everyone, like most of the Rockets were on the perimeter because they were expecting for Chris Paul to get it or Schroeder. So PJ Tucker was down there with Steven Adams, the strongest center in the league.
Mind you, where was PJ Tucker? On the outside of the lane.
Outside of the lane, bro. So, that's a lob.
That's a whole paint.
That's a lob for the game.
And like, bro, Chris Paul also, you see this happening. Why don't you go inbound the ball? Clearly, Shai is not ready for this moment. He's not ready for this moment yet. So you go inbound the ball and make the play. Bro, it's easy. We just needed an overtime, bro. We're not trying to win the game with a 3.
How many times did they have the opportunity?
Twice, bro.
It was twice, bro.
And that's why Billy Donovan
He has to be fired, bro. I don't care what you did this year. The fact of the matter is, that's the craziest part. You would have been slandered if it was one occasion. But the fact that it was the same situation twice, 2 times, and you, like, after the first time and I realized Shai didn't see it, when they came back to the huddle, I would have been like, yo, look, if they guard you like this, Steve-O, you make yourself open. You make yourself a target. Shai, you look for that lob pass. I don't care if it gets broken up. That's the pass we're going with. That's the play we're going with. Bro, and if you don't have confidence in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, you tell Chris Paul to take the ball out.
Inbound that, bro.
Like the fact that it was twice that it happened. Because let me be very clear. The Rockets didn't want to go to overtime. James Harden was in foul trouble. Russell Westbrook was in foul trouble. And Robert Covington had 5.
Burt Covington, bro.
And what's crazy is then what killed me the most after the game, Russell Westbrook says to the media, "Oh, I knew that play. I was the one that was supposed to get the ball when I was in OKC, and Billy Donovan ran it for me." You're going to draw up a play your opponent already knows, and then have not only your second option be a dud because it couldn't happen. You basically couldn't get the ball in. You couldn't get the ball in bounds,
bro.
And you had a whole option to send it to OT. Not only, and this is the part we can't
forgive,
bro. I didn't want it to go to I didn't want them
would
to
you
win
rather
with the 3, bro.
Would you rather and that's, you wanted it to go to OT?
Yeah, I wanted it to go overtime.
And that's the difference. Players, we give them criticism all the time. They have to be clutch. Coaches have to be clutch too. And you know why? Because if they're not clutch, then that means their team it's in the air. And that's what D'Antoni does every single offseason. Every single postseason when they lose unexpectedly or they just come up short and Harden gets all the blame. We look at Mike D'Antoni, and D'Antoni's chilling because why? Oh, it's the math game for him. We're just going to do whatever we do, and that's it. And he's absolved. Well, listen, Billy Donovan, you are not absolved either. That was blatant and
You need to be
possibly
fired.
cost
Very
No,
obvious.
all I'm saying is, if Nate McMillan was fired, Billy Donovan and Quinn Snyder should be out of jobs.
Hell, if that dude from the Nets was fired, that Jax guy, if that dude was fired,
Everybody needs
yeah.
to be fired.
Oh yeah.
Like, you can't fire Jax and Nate McMillan because Jax was basically, you had a bum team. No one expected the Nets to do anything. Fact of the matter is, they went into the bubble and they were OD competitive. Karis LeVert looked like the GOAT until the postseason started.
naturally.
Nate McMillan's out here, like, bro, he's coaching an injured team. He's basically without his 2 all-stars the whole year at different portions of the year. And you still are the 4th or 5th seed. You know what I mean? The 5th seed, I mean. So, and then you get your star back, but Victor was even, like, he was on the edge of even coming into the bubble for his own rehabilitation purposes. So clearly he's not at 100%. And you're going to fire a man like that, who literally coached them to the 5th seed in a this year, pretty competitive in terms of the top 5 seeds, pretty competitive Eastern Conference.
Very.
But that's why a couple people need to be fired.
Couple people do. People
And,
do.
That series was telling. OKC deserved to win.
They did.
And they didn't. And that's
Houston deserved to lose.
Houston did deserve to lose. And that's the
On to
other
the
thing.
next
Like,
series.
people are always talking about how Mike D'Antoni is going to fight to keep his job. Look, bro, at the end of the day, if you're going to fire Mike D'Antoni, fire Mike D'Antoni. But it's just like, Mike D'Antoni hasn't been fired because he's had regular season success, clearly. And let me not undersell him and say he hasn't been getting out the first round, because he has. He has. But I'm just saying, if your goals and your aspirations are championship, then by those standards, he's failed multiple times, like more than enough times for him to be fired based off the criteria, right? Am I bugging?
It's fair.
So it's just like,
I mean, despite the Warriors, but
despite the Warriors, despite that,
they came close.
exactly. And then this year, like I said, if they lost to the Thunder, guaranteed fired for Mike D'Antoni. That's how I felt, because it's just like, you don't trade your point guard and then for another point guard because you feel like your point guard is not it, and then that point guard comes into the next season and beat you in the first round. He would have had to be fired.
Yeah.
And I actually wanted that, because I was just like, the Rockets small ball, it's interesting. It's just, I don't think it's championship sustainable, because there's got to be a team that just out rebounds them continuously. Like, effort can only get you so far. Like, I've been on the court, our teams be having the most effort, but I remember one time when we were in the South, when we was going to school, bro, in the South. You remember that one time we pulled up to the gym? You was our biggest player, bro. You was our biggest player. It was you, me, Bane, Joe, and Q.
Yeah.
And we pulled up to the court, and it was mad Southern dudes we was playing against. Looked like it was in the water, bro. All these dudes 6'4" or above. Like, I was guarding somebody 6 feet tall, bro. I was like, what am I doing over here, bro? And I had all the effort in the world, but we were getting offensive rebounded on. We won, but we were getting offensive boarded on OD. And that's what it is. Like, there's gonna be a point where you run into a team, and it's just like, that small ball stuff, especially in the postseason, it's not gonna work. And I think it's gonna be against the Lakers.
And that brings us to round 2.
Round 2. Let me be very clear. I'll start off with the Lakers matchup because it just started. Like I said earlier in the episode, the Lakers clearly have a propensity to just give up game ones, because they clearly just don't care about the first game of a series. That's the only reason I feel like the Rockets came out here and won. And then there's also this to be said. In terms of perimeter defense, the Thunder are going to be better than the Lakers, specifically for the purpose of guarding James Harden, because they're designed to keep people away from the paint. So their guards are more active out on the wing, and they have Lou Dort. Like, that's not a secret. Lou Dort defended James Harden better than anyone I've seen defend James Harden in the past 2 seasons, and I have Marcus Smart on my team. So that's big praise coming from me. So he really did that. So for in terms of on the Rocket side of this, though, and on the James Harden side of this, if I'm James Harden, I'm like, yo, ain't nobody else in the postseason gonna guard me like Lou Dort. I should eat the whole postseason. Like, no funny, bro. I should, if I think somebody else is gonna lock me up like Lou Dort did, bro, like, it can't be. It can't be, because he just played that's the best defense I've experienced 1v1. Because, like, a lot of Harden's 1v1 buckets were, like, I watched Lou Dort defend him, and yeah, Harden averaged 30 that series, but I'm interested to see the numbers with Lou Dort as a primary defender, bro. I really am. And I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, he averaged like 1.2 points against Lou Dort. No, but I'm saying, like, if you compare it to the league average of what they get Harden with, Lou Dort did spectacular, bro. So if I'm Harden, I'm thinking to myself, yo, ain't nothing left. Ain't nothing left for me to really worry about. I'm about to average 35. Like, I'm about to average 35, you feel me? But at the same time, I'm picking the Lakers in 5.
5?
Yeah, because they beat my brother's team, so I need them to be avenged.
Oh man. So
Oh, you want my realistic take? Lakers in 6.
so watching that game, obviously it was frustrating as a Laker fan. I don't know what it is about game one. Game one against the Blazers, we just didn't hit shots. Game one against the Rockets, we just came out here not knowing what the hell we're doing. I put that on Frank Vogel, but I put that on the team as well, where it's just like, why don't you play hard? Why don't you show some effort? Why are you turning the ball over? That kind of thing. And we saw the best. I think the good news is for my team is we saw the best of the Rockets. Eric Gordon went off. Russ went off. Harden went off. Harden had 60%. When has that ever happened in the season? So I just want to see what it looks like when we play effort. I'm not really concerned about really the rest of the series as long as we don't play Rondo more than 10 minutes a game. But yeah. Lakers in 6 probably. I had him in 5, but I don't know. I respect Harden too much to just say like that he's going to lose 4 games in a row.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, against your team, sure, but I mean, when he has his buddies and stuff around him for the whole series, he'll be all right. But that's my take on them. I don't think anyone should be overreacting.
Also, yeah.
But
also, a little note, bro. Y'all like were off longer than the Rockets were. So and the Rockets just.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not trying to give y'all an excuse, but I'm just putting.
I don't really like that excuse.
Just throwing that out there in the air.
We should have been more prepared though. We just didn't look like we cared about the details.
It's either you were coming out more prepared or you were just coming out looking like some bums, and it was just the bums. So y'all will probably be fine game 2. So
yeah, we'll see
what happens.
We'll see what happens on Sunday.
Now, if you'll go down 0-2.
Hey, wait, Chris. So what'd you say? Like Lakers and what? Or excuse me, I don't want to presume. But what do you have?
I originally had Lakers in 4, but
Disappointing.
yeah, I was upset.
Somebody promised us things that they could produce on.
No, but realistic take, Lakers in 6.
All right, cool. Y'all heard me, Lakers in 6. Y'all heard 7. So let's move on to the next matchup. You know,
Clippers in Denver.
I don't even care.
I really don't care either. I think the Clippers are gonna win.
Clippers should win.
They should win. They should. And
Keyword
based off of game 1, this shouldn't take long.
Yeah, it shouldn't take long.
Pat Bev is back. I hate him, but
We all do.
I get like if the league's gonna allow you to punch somebody in the mouth as defense, then it's gonna have an effect.
I mean, look at Giannis, bro.
Yeah, bro. Like, look at Giannis. Look at what the actually, we'll get into that a little after we finish the Clippers matchup. But predictions.
I'm gonna go with 6 because I just don't trust the Clippers to play.
Just say Paul George.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with 5.
Okay.
Clips in 6 because, I mean, I guess Jamal Murray, if he plays like he did last year.
He looked gassed.
He's exhausted. That's exactly why I'm picking Clips in 5 as well.
Well, I'm gonna say Clips in 6 to be.
Nah, I respect it. It's just there's nobody like I respect Jamal Murray, but it's just like, bro, like I saw his interview after Game 7. They were interviewing him. They were like, "So how are you gonna bounce back? You know, this was a long series. How are you gonna bounce back and play on Thursday?" He was like, "Wait, we play Thursday? We don't get 2 days off?" Damn.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh yeah, you know that boy gassed."
Well, you shouldn't have been a bum
Shouldn't have
team.
been a bum team. Finish him off in 5. You could rest a little bit.
Yep. All
But
right.
anyway, moving
Nothing spectacular.
nothing
there.
spectacular there, man. But moving on to the East. You know what?
Expose him.
Expose him.
Expose that man.
MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, Giannis Antetokounmpo.
All those awards for what?
All those awards for nothing. Let me be very
about
clear.
to be a 2-time
He
MVP
can't-
playing like this.
He can't guard me.
He
Tragic, bro.
can't look. If people are saying, you know what, Giannis, yeah, he deserved to win Defensive Player of the Year. Like he can't really
Man.
guard 1-on-1, but he's an elite help defender.
Oh, yeah, he's great.
He's great at help defense. That means people in the league people around the league looking at you like, bro, I get it, you're a freak. I'm gonna get this bucket on you 1-on-1. Like the only time I have to worry about you is when you're on the weak side and you sneak block me, and I don't see you coming.
Bro, and that's how they feel for real, for real.
Look,
And Jimmy Butler and all those mothers and children that he screamed at, they know.
let me be very clear.
They know what it
There's
is.
levels to this. Giannis running full court, throwing the ball ahead of him and dunking on somebody's head and then screaming in an arena full of people. That's not the same level of aggression, disrespect, and honestly, legendary status that Jimmy Butler reached when he hits fadeaway jumpers, looks at the mothers, the wives, and the children of his opposition, and screams in their like he basically looked at Liam Antetokounmpo and said, "Your dad is bum."
He was
like he's a bum.
It was like Scar. Your father's dead.
Your father's dead.
Jimmy did.
Long live the king ass. Like he was really like Jimmy Butler's a terrorist in the best sense of the word.
Yo.
And like I said, I didn't say anything disrespectful about Jimmy Butler. I would just like to apologize for having to say that I needed to see. Yeah, sorry, Mr. Butler. I shouldn't have had to get to the point where I was like, I need to see you be great to believe it.
Yeah.
So
same.
that series is basically almost done because they started earlier than everybody. But and at the beginning of the series, I wouldn't have said this, but if you're 3-0, it's a sweep, right?
I'm gonna go ahead and say that.
I'm gonna go ahead and say sweep.
You know why?
3-0 historically.
Because Coach Bud isn't gonna do anything.
Coach Bud isn't gonna. Yo, Coach Bud is scared to play his stars more than 36 minutes. That enough said. Fired. Fired.
Since game 1 and every game preceding, Giannis has played less and less minutes. So,
bro, if you don't
he doesn't
go
want to
out
win.
there and play 50 minutes,
he doesn't want to win, bro. Like, what are you concerned about? You're concerned about what energy are you concerned? You're concerned about
losing
or getting injured, bro.
Losing or your players being gassed after every game. First of all,
I don't give a fuck.
That's what happens when you give players rights, bro. Nah, let me stop.
Whoa. See what happens when you put a Celtics fan on the mic?
Demonetized.
Bro, that's what happens when you like the Celtics organization.
Speaking of the Celtics, bro, look, I'm going to get into it a little bit. Honestly, we should be up 3-0. It's 2-1 now.
Let's
and
go
it's
over the
and
over
it's
the series real quick.
look. It's our fault. It's our fault. We should have never been in a one possession game with these bums. Okay, we're just better than them. We had a 6-point lead with a minute and a half left. We let them get back in the game. Kemba saves us with a spectacular no-look dime, and people are thinking that's the game. It's 0.5 seconds left. All you got to do is prevent the three, bro. And worst comes to worst, we go to overtime, but prevent the three. That should be the only thought process in everybody's head. Guard the three. It was a defensive breakdown the last play. From Brown to Tice to Tatum. Everybody but Marcus Smart, bro, who was calling out the positions people should be in. It was disgusting. Like Jaylen Brown said in his post-game interview, it's on him. It's a fucking disgrace. They should have been up 3-0. And we'll rectify this today when we go up 3-1. Y'all may talk.
So, Frederico, a.k.a. Fred Van Fleet.
Oh, yeah, he talking that big talk, bro.
He said, y'all done fucked up. And I believe him because fuck the Celtics. And also...
said by a true Lakers.
Yeah. Just because, I mean, it's just... We're not really checking for them, but I do believe that they are made of championship stuff. And although I do believe the Celtics have the superior talent, period, I also believe that they're kind of... They're kind of solid. What they believe, they're convicted, man. They've been tested, and I think they're going to pull out at least one more game. So I don't know if it's this game or just the to stay alive game and then lose the next game. I don't know, but I think that game is. I think this is going 6.
Chris, your thoughts?
I mean, shout out to OG for having the luckiest shot I've ever seen in the universe.
Whoa! that is not luck. Man's is shooting the lights out all postseason. Check yourself, man. He shoots when he shoots. He expects to make it. All right, don't get it fucked up. All right, like he said in 2014 on Twitter.
Yeah.
If he said hi to your girl,
word,
his girl now.
Word. Yeah. Spicy. Yeah. Okay, spicy.
I was too young for that, so that's
spicy.
Not my
Speaking
fault.
of spicy, where's Spicy P at?
Getting strapped up by JB. Getting strapped up.
No,
ain't doing nothing because he getting strapped.
Yo, Chris, what's your pick? What's your pick?
There's only one correct answer here.
I'm gonna just say Celtics and 6.
That's disgusting. Okay, as you know, I'm thinking Celtics in 5. Okay, and that's my prediction for it. All right.
You're a Celtics fan. You're supposed to say that. Oh, actually, no. You're supposed to say Celtics in 4.
We were supposed to win in 4.
Supposed to, but now you're not.
But look, y'all. These are the second round matchups. These are how we feel about them. You know, surprises, the lows of the playoffs. I feel like the one thing we could all say is thank God for playoff basketball. Really, thank God. 2 Game 7s. They were both great. Intense second round matchups. What more could you want?
Nothing.
What more could you want? So, you know, this has been the Recreational Hoopers podcast, and we gonna see y'all next time, man. Let's get into it.
Letting or letting go.